All right, let's get to Racket Rundown, brought to you by Wilson. We'll do it quickly. Alex Muller from France in Hong Kong lost the first set in every match he played along the way, but ended up getting the title, beating, as we mentioned before, Kei Nishikori in the final. Great to see Nishikori back, healthy. The ball striking has gone nowhere. Hopefully, it means he can get a full run of health throughout this entire 2025 season. His game isn't going to recess. He never was the guy that served you off the court. He is just a great ball striker and as many other things, but is an elite ball striker on full display. Props to Muller, 27 years old, first ATP title. And you could see it with his reaction down on his knees. They asked him a question. You felt like he was shorting answers in the interview right afterwards because he didn't want to break down crying because he was emotional. Love to see that. Hey guys, I want to ask you a question. The last show we did, I named it, hey, who's someone to look out for in 2025? Who's your dark horse pick? Who's going to be, top 15, top 10? Who's going to make a jump?
I don't know. If only it was on YouTube and we could go back and check.
Oh, man.
Who was it?
I remember.
Oh, you do?
I remember. Just came to me.
Because I forgot.
Just came to me. It's Yuri Lehecka is what I said.
Oh.
Did he have a week? First week out of the shooter?
Didn't take long.
2025. Credit to me. More credit to Yuri. Don't you dare pronounce that J. It is Yuri Lehecka. Played great. Maybe the story of the tournament, even outside of Lehecka winning, Reilly Opelka coming back, has largely been out of tennis for a couple of years. There's been hip issues. There's been wrist issues. There's been injuries upon injuries upon injuries. It's that old story. When you get behind on an injury, you overcompensate, you come back, you're more likely to get hurt coming back from an injury, overcompensating for something. It was an absolute pleasure to see Reilly back. He was probably the guy that everyone was pointing at and said, this guy could be the biggest disruptor. Maybe he's the one that wins a slam in that group with Fritz, Paul, Francis, Korda. That whole group, it's like you can't teach 7 feet tall. He probably plays better from the baseline than Isner. And he still has that mountain thing. You can't teach it. You can't teach 6'10". You can't teach how to serve bombs. Comes back, wins some matches. Signature win over Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals, 6-3. Wins a semi. You're like, this is amazing. He's back. He is in it. Has proven maybe he's not the guy that needs 27 tournaments to get back. Like, I'm back. This game translates. It can come right back. And then what you don't want to see in that final, down 4-1 in the first set, retires, says there's a little discomfort in the wrist. Best case scenario, it just hasn't had the reps at this level, right? He's played extended matches. Practice is one thing. Getting through in a tournament is an entirely different thing. There's probably physical and mental scar tissue with that wrist because it's been such a problem. I hope that's what it is. I hope it's a usage rate situation, and I hope that's why we saw Reilly have to default to Yuri Lehecka down 4-1 in the Brisbane final. It would be absolutely heartbreaking for Reilly, for us that are fans of his potential. This is a guy who I think made the semis, the finals in Rome on clay a couple years ago as a 6'10" dude. Like, the guy is just a problem for a lot of people.
Where are you getting 6'10"? This guy
7 foot
stands next to our friend
12?
John Isner, and he's got him by a few inches.
You think he's taller than John Isner?
He's listed at 6'11".
Yeah.
I think
he's 7 feet tall.
Isner's 9 feet tall. I'm just telling you.
This guy's 11 then. But no, I mean, I think let's bear in mind too, and I'm curious where you are with this. There is also a major that starts in like 6 days from now, talking about tennis's. Not only is there no off season in this sport, but then you come out of the gate hot with a major like 10 days into the year. But how much of these injuries that we've saw, there were a number of withdrawals in all the tournaments this week. How much of this is precaution? Hey, look, there's a big major coming 6 days from now. I want to be 100% before I play best of 5 versus, boy, we're starting early and already we're injured here. I'm sort of holding out hope this is Reilly Opelka being extra cautious and prudent rather than a re-aggravation of, wrist injuries are no joke too.
He said it was back issues actually afterwards. He said the physio.
Yeah, he said he was out of gas too.
Yeah.
So,
well, back issues is great news because what I had read was that there was like the wrist wasn't firing fully and all that. Maybe that's just the new normal for him based off the injury. But if it's a back thing and if it's a usage rate thing, that's a net positive? Because what I read, maybe it was bad information.
He said, quote, unfortunately, my back has been giving me issues. The tournament doctor and ATP physio were unbelievable. Throwing the kitchen sink at it. We worked on it all day. Wasn't right.
Great. What I read may have been taking liberties. Fine. If it's a back issue like he says it is, I know it sucks that he didn't get to play, and I know it sucks that has discomfort. But also, if your injury, there's difference between being hurt and being injured. If you're injured, you get an MRI, right? You're getting imaging. You're doing something else. If you're hurt, you're having the ATP trainers try to make you more comfortable, right? So what that tells me, Mike, is way better than what I read. And maybe it was just someone projecting based on the past 2 years, which wouldn't be completely out of line. That's great. I hope Reilly Opelka's back. Well, back meaning not the body part.
Well,
back,
to John's question, right? It's because this is Brisbane. Do you think he's like, all right, maybe I'll retire here because I want to focus on being like,
yes, you're
better
more
for AO.
Yes, you're more likely to. One, I mean, no one blames this guy if he goes, my body is at a tipping point. When I've pushed it in the past, you don't know, right? With Naomi Osaka, with the ab injury, we haven't gotten to her part of the rundown yet, but we'll get to that. Let me finish this real quick, and then we'll circle back to the injury conversation. United Cup, Fritz Gauff seemed like they were the best team on paper going in. Taylor Fritz, this is the benefit of United Cup. Took a loss early and then looked great the rest of the way, right? You want those matches. I was someone who craved matches going into a major event. United Cup would have been appealing to me just because I have a guarantee of not going, okay, you play Petchy Paracard first round of Brisbane. You get zero read on how you're actually playing because it's literally like flipping a coin with the serve. Whereas United Cup, you're guaranteed, multiple matches. Fritz worked his way into it. He looked great. No surprise there. The biggest result of the week for me, Coco coming off of year-end finals winning, beating Iga there, who I think going into that match, she was 1-11, beating Iga again. And now United Cup is not a major. It's not an Indian Wells final. But when you have such a bad record against someone, and I speak from experience, doesn't matter what it is. You could beat them at Yahtzee and it matters to you. Like you need that win against that matchup. Coco beating Iga straightforward, 4-4. Big statement from her, especially coming off of the way that she finished last year. Tauson winning in Auckland over Osaka, who defaulted, with an ab injury. In a surprise to nobody, Sabalenka dominates in Brisbane. John.
Man, where to start? This is the first week of the year, and we got a lot to talk about.